Terry Dossey's injury happened out on an oil rig in the middle of the Permian Basin. On the day of Terry's accident, somebody made a mistake, and the mud pump was started with all valves closed. A large steel pipe blew out from the mud pump, hit Terry in the legs, knocked him across the drilling floor, and his head went into a piece of sharp steel that fractured his skull. After several days, Terry finally regained consciousness. But regaining consciousness was only the beginning of his fight. His journey to recovery was a long one and a tough one. Now, Terry's mom was an administrator in a nursing home who had dealt with brain injuries before. She knew this was going to be expensive. She knew it was going to take a long time. She also knew that for Terry to reach his highest levels of recovery, they're going to need to find supplemental funding. After researching several law firms all around the country, she ultimately turned to us. One of the challenges of this case, right from the beginning, we knew we would face is what's called a workers' comp immunity. And what that says is that any accident that's caused by workers' co-workers or by his employers, there's just really nothing to do about it. You get workers' comp benefits for that, and that's all. So we knew from the beginning that the easy answer to what happened, which was somebody on the oil rig closed the valve so that the pump was deadhead, that easy answer wasn't going to be enough.
The difficulty of this case really boiled down to the accident should have never happened.
Oil rigs obviously aren't supposed to explode, and this one had.
There was a pop-off valve on it, and until the pressures inside the pump reached 5,000 pounds, that pop-off valve is the safety device that protects everyone.
This this accident involved something that you got to call forensic engineering, where you have to use engineers to go back and reconstruct something that clearly happened that never should have happened. And Dr. Stern built what you call a finite element model, which is basically a computer model of all the equipment that was involved here, and then reenacted the sort of stresses that would have been encountered in that night to help us figure out how exactly could this have happened. It was priceless. After we had obtained Dr. Stern's compelling testimony, we had a video crew meet Terry while he was still at the rehab facility in Houston, Texas, to film a day in the life video. In many cases, there will come a point when the client says something or does something, or you learn something about them that makes you realize why it is that we commit so hard. For me, that moment came watching the day in the life video and seeing the part where Terry started singing along to Tom Petty's "Won't Back Down."
Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down.
It was just a spontaneous reaction by Terry, but I knew at that point that he was aching to get back home.
Terry didn't need a lawsuit that was going to span 4, 5, 6 years. Terry didn't need to sit in institutionalized care. He would never be where he is now had that happened.
We spent a lot of time thinking about how we would change our approach. How could we do something different for this case that would make it happen, not just that get Terry an appropriate settlement, something that is appropriate to the magnitude of his loss, but how do we do it fast, faster than lawyers normally work? We gathered the people that work in our firm who do creative work, who build websites, and we said, I want to do something that nobody's ever done before. I want to develop a settlement website so that instead of sending out notebooks of documents and photographs and reports and maybe videos and just a bunch of stuff that ends up on adjusters' desks and gets lost or gets distributed to the wrong people, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to put all of that onto a website with hundreds and hundreds of pages, videos, photographs, documentation, so we can prove to them Terry Dossey is not a guy who made the mistakes that led to this accident. And it seemed to work like a champ. That information got out, and within a period of only a few weeks, we were able to get everybody together at a single place in Dallas and spent 2 days there and hammered it all the way through, and we got it done.
After we settled Terry's case, we went out to see him twice. But the last time is the time that really resonates with me. The progression, the improvement, it was beyond words.
He has enough money now that will last him for the rest of his life to take care of him and all of his needs. And we couldn't have done it without Dale and Stephanie.
Stephanie and Dale did a good job for me. And you know what? I thank Stephanie for bringing me my check today. She handed it to me in person. She's great to me.
She is.
Yeah.
She's the best.